Hello, my name is Christine Reimer, and I'm a professional artist in Victoria, BC. Welcome to my studio. I'd like to show you, to start, one of my paintings, landscapes that I'm known for, and because I've been painting for over 30 years. This particular piece is pretty much dead on to what I've worked on for quite a number of years. It's of course changed and evolved, and I'm currently at the start of a new phase of my work. So this piece just gives you an idea of where I was coming from, and where I'm going is to far more abstract work. And I have some examples here of the work that's going to be in my upcoming show, which is at the Arts Centre at Cedar Hill here in Victoria. The show dates are May 15th to the 27th. So the new work has been quite a process. I've changed a lot about the way I work. I still use the very vibrant colors. There's still lots of movement in my paintings, but the subject matter is definitely much more abstract. When I initially began, I started very small because I was changing the medium and the type of materials that I was using, drawing into the paint and removing paint and adding more, and definitely going through lots and lots of layers. I'm hoping to be able to have more of an expression of internal things, my beliefs and all that kind of thing. So this is where I started with some small canvases that just so that I didn't feel too intimidated by working on larger canvases. So these pieces are very definitely still in the landscape kind of genre. This piece I'm starting to get far more abstract with it, but these are still studies. And I gradually began to move a little bit larger and working bigger, so I would have a piece like this. What I found as I was working is I was deliberately unself-conscious about what I was doing. I wasn't sure what the direction was. I would start with a color that appealed at the moment and work through with adding lots of texture and drawing in. So this particular piece is called Excavation, and one of the things that I discovered as I was working through this painting was this figure that appeared to the left, and it wasn't a deliberate thing, it just kind of happened. So I then worked from that, and in the end it felt to me as if this was an excavation site, which in some respects is a metaphor for the type of work that I'm trying to do right now. I've excavated inside to find the inspiration for many of these pieces. Another one here called When the Moon Falls from the Sky. There's a great deal of very coarse texture in this and very ridged. I've deliberately limited my palette in this one, but there's still really a real vibrancy there. And there's some, probably won't show in this video, but there's some areas that have opalescent paint in them, and it adds to the depth of the original. The one that's hanging on the wall behind me here was a very pivotal piece in this series. I call it Release, or Transition Release. And as you can see, there's another figure which also arrived, it just seemed to suddenly appear there, and so it became it became such an important part of the painting that I started to make it look a little bit more like a figure. And then these bird-like creatures appeared as well. Again, there's some metallic paint in this, so it doesn't really show terribly well with a camera, I don't think. Here's yet another very pivotal piece with an egg, which seemed like a metaphor for the start of a new inspirational series, and the egg also, like the figures, kind of appeared. The piece in the foreground here, Heart's Blood, and there's to me quite a Japanese kind of feel to this painting. Mountains began to appear, and clouds, and there seems to be these weeping mountains at the side here. This one I call Heart's Blood. to go to another even more abstract level, this piece is called Mystic Landfall. There's no definite sort of reference back to landscape particularly, but to me this does very much represent looking at the earth from up above. One other here that I wanted to talk about for a minute. This one is called Blossoms. These are trees, and at the time that I painted this, Victoria was, all of our spring blossoms were just coming out, and it was really very inspirational. And so this is, I think, pretty obviously sky when these are the tree type figures. So I just wanted to invite you to come to my show, and I hope that you've enjoyed this few minutes. And I have a website as well at www.christinereimer.ca. Reimer is R-E-I-M-E-R. And I hope you'll go and look at my website and see the paintings in more detail. Thanks so much.